How's it going, everybody? I'm Kyle from Fantasy Forge Studios, and we are back with session 52 of Everlast, The Adventures of Eclaas. We're joined by two of our players today. Unfortunately, Cole and Connor were unable to make it, but that's okay. We are just pressing forwards with this adventure as Yuki and Zil today do what they can to finish off.
What are we on, episode 7 of the Yuki and Zil show?
Yeah, at least. I feel like recently, it's usually, if people are missing, it's usually you and I who are here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
good.
fine. They will come back. It's fine, but
Sometimes you just
I
need to wait
literally
extra long to rest.
when Dane told me today that it was just us, and Cole had also told me, so I knew it was coming. But I texted him like, "Oh no, the Yuki and Zil show. Will the party survive?"
Well, I mean, hopefully we don't get into any shenanigans. We won't survive.
We will get into shenanigans.
Well, okay. Hopefully not.
So let's go ahead and have our players introduce themselves, their characters, and then we'll go ahead, do a little bit of recap, and jump right into it. Today, our plan is to go for a little bit shorter. We have something that we have to get to, some urgent pressing matters on the Everlast front after this stream, and so we'll be concluding a little bit sooner than probably usual, but that's okay. Enjoy what you have, and it'll just be a little bit of a shorter episode today. So let's go ahead.
We're gonna have this much less time, but this much more fun, so it'll work out.
Yeah, we good.
There's gonna be
Math teacher approved.
There's gonna be no barriers for Luxalia holding you guys back on the shenanigans.
Oh.
But let's go ahead and start with Zil.
Hello, I'm Zil. Oh my goodness. Actually, I'm Max. I play Zil. He's on my sleeve with the discontinued sweatshirt.
Nope.
He is the orphan of Helix. Grew up on the streets, kind of sort of raised by the blacksmith, then also raised a bunch of other orphans. He's Waffle House, his pet mouse.
Every time you mention that,
the blacksmith extraordinaire. He is on a warpath to become Everlast's best blacksmith.
Oh gosh.
He's a future refining and prospector because what everyone else, gets out of early because it's too dangerous is an adventurer's retirement plan because it's a breeze compared to what we're doing now.
True.
And he is the Teapot of Madness. His wrestling name, I don't even remember the context. I just know Luxalia gave it to me during WrestleMania. I guess that is the context.
Yep.
But yes, party tank, get in the way, get hit, try to hit back, but that's just icing on top. Yeah, very naive, but very fiercely protective of what is important to him. And doesn't really get social cues. So he has probably told way too many details about our mission to way too many people. What a fun time. And Zil is happy that Luxalia isn't here to get in the way. I am concerned. Luxalia is the voice of reason for the party, and it's great. But Zil's happy.
She's the conscience.
Speaking of which, that's perfect. That jumps off to our next character, who, again, Cole is not here today, but Luxalia of the Silverwood. She is a shrine maiden of Amaterasu from the far, southeastern edges of Everlast, and she is on this adventure trying to follow Alamnia's guidance and trying to wrangle these bunch of misfits together for the directed purpose, which, hey, that's working to some degree, I guess. But she is the healer of the party. She is a Mana-Sworn Lightsworn, and so she is a support character, and she also has manic abilities that she uses to support and attack from the back, but primarily she uses her healing stuff. She's a Kitsune spirit, which she really likes, that she has oftentimes running around. Is there anything else? She's cool. She's
holy.
She's holy.
She makes us look bad.
Yeah, she's very virtuous.
Which brings us to our next character, played by Dane, Yuki.
Hey guys, my name is Dane, or Forge here at Fantasy Forge Studios, and I play the character Mistletoe Yuki. She is a silver dragon from the far north reaches of a city called Flamongolith. She comes from a family of smiths, specifically instrument smiths. Her class is Bard, I know. Makes sense, right? But she's not your typical supporty bard. She is a blade dancer, actually, which is a physical DPS, which is really cool. So she dual wields two broadswords, and she's trying her best to find herself a little bit more. She definitely during this adventure at Folden Rock has had a lot to think about as far as Alomnia goes and did his providence in her life, and so we'll see where that continues to go. She's happy that Thordane no longer is possessed by a sword, as he had told her last time, and she's happy that we have a new greeter for our boat, who's like,
Welcome
"Welcome
to
to the
Alamia's breath.
welcome to Alomnia's breath. Do you like chocolates? I like chocolates."
No, I've completely forgot about
Oh my goodness.
the re Just to put it into context, unfortunately, our new crewmate became crippled 2 sessions ago. He had a building fall on him, and he's a burn victim. And so
He's been a burn victim for a while.
yeah, the image that comes to my mind is the old chocolates lady from SpongeBob, wheeled out in the wheelchair.
Oh my goodness.
We'll find him something to do.
Oh.
Oh gosh, but that's Yuki. She's cool. He's pretty nice.
And then we have Belbin, who is the opposite of Luxalia. He is definitely in the deep, dark, at least lowest of the lows as far as his misery score goes. But yeah, definitely he's swimming in vice. He is currently, at least from where we last saw him, still at Fulden Temple, or somewhere else. But he is in the process right now of being away from it all. He is now in the possession of Calvinish, Thordane's sword, the sword that speaks to people. Probably the worst person to have hold of that. But yeah, he's an old Glyven from the Roku Horn. He's a martial artist. He's an oblate class, and he punches things to death, which you guys were able to see even without all of his gear and armor. He was still doing his thing down in the fighting demons and all that kind of stuff. So he got pecked by a giant crow, Grim Raven. So that's all good.
He's been through it.
Yeah, typically, he is kind of the sneaky guy of the bunch, and oftentimes a troublemaker. And his decisions aren't always his own. So it's just one of those things where the past couple of sessions without him being here, I guess it's kind of given a little bit of relief to the party, but hopefully he's being taken care of. But our last character is Thordane, who is he's kind of at this point like a DMPC, but he is the captain of the ship of Alomnia's Breath, and he is also a support character. He is a tracker ranger, and he has all kinds of like hunting traps and all that kind of fun stuff, different kinds of arrows eventually when you guys level up, that he can be able to use in combat, and he's got some heals and that kind of stuff. But he's a man of science, he is a captain, and he is WrestleMania champion 2 times in a row, somehow. And so with that,
He's dexterous.
he's dexterous. And so with that being the case, let's go ahead and introduce myself. I am Kyle. I am the Fate Weaver of this game and also creator of this game. Everlast is a game that has been in production since, oh man, it's, do you want to hear something weird, guys? It's going on like 8 years that like this game has been, at least the world itself has being built. More like 4 years, 4 or 5 years on like the actual like turning it into a game kind of front. But yeah, Everlast is a world that is kind of near and dear to my heart, and it is being brought to you on as a tabletop RPG and also a TCG. We'll get to that later. But just a couple of things before we do begin. So we are putting out this content so you guys can learn to know about this world of Everlast prior to the official release. However, Fantasy Forge Studios and Kyle LaFonte own all copyrights in the text, images, video, audio, graphics, story, gameplay mechanics, and all the intellectual properties involved in the creation of Everlast. Feel free to use it for your own homebrew, but don't take it and sell it as your own. So, now that that's out of the way, do you guys have anything before we jump into some recap?
Is Zill still drunk?
So that's actually a good that's a good thing. So we are ending it we're starting our next episode the next day. And so essentially the party has kind of run its courses and is at an end, And after Thordain had spoken with Yuki and Zill was WrestleMania people, at least Arm WrestleMania people.
Arm WrestleMania.
Arm WrestleMania with people. But the crew eventually after a long evening of rejoicing and celebrating not only new crew members but also the defeat of demons before their next excursion the next day. They go ahead and all go to bed for the evening. But this adventure is taking place in the Great Peninsula of Everlast. Do I have my map here somewhere?
Other question,
I do not have my map here. Yes.
which we can get to after the recap. Never mind. Oh, we got all sorts of oh, you fixed it. We're good.
But so anyways, I don't have like the full map here unless it's like underneath here. Look at that. It is underneath. So this adventure takes place in the Inland Strait, which is a gigantic body of water that separates the both sides of the continent of Everlast. They started off their adventure down here at Aishan Island in Takai Town. And have made their way north, being charged as the keeper of the Earth Key to gather the keepers of the keys, which they were tasked with by the keeper of the Flame Key, which is King Nalgoric Cragheim. Yes.
Of the
And
Gold Draken.
The Gold Draken in Flomberge, the city. They made their way all the way...
Flomberge, Foldenrock.
Yep, all the Fs. Flamon.
Flamon. Oh, God. God. Keeping names straight.
They've made their way all the way to Feshenfei and have already saved Princess Mila, but also have done their task of recruiting King Ferrand to meet them down at Aishan Island at Flomberge to discuss what to do next in the meeting in the meeting of the keys. And they are currently in Folded Rock trying to find a man by the name of Aldreg Monteblair. Which a lot has been revealed thus far about him from the Harrogates. A bunch of cultist stuff has happened. If you guys want to know all the nitty-gritty of that, go back and watch previous episodes. I won't spoil it for you. But
It's
essentially,
crazy.
Edmund Harrogate told them he doesn't know where he is. He's his best friend, but if they are to try to find him, the best place to go is the Gilded Mask Tavern and speak to Marla Stonebrew, who is the secret niece of Aldreg Monteblair. And so that is where their minds are set on next, but he is the keeper of the Sky Key. But essentially, he seems to have been chased away from his island, Skyspire Island, by the dreaded Jackman Nobbs, the pirate, who sails the seas and was one of the primary targets of the Flortensia when both Aldreg Monteblair and Lord Edmund Harrogate were on the Flortensia. Way back ago, but he has been released from prison or broken out of prison most recently, a few months ago, and yeah, it seems like there's rumors that Aldreg Monteblair is here in hiding in Folden Rock. And so with that being the case, I'm going to go ahead and turn the game back over to my players as they decide to do what's next.
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Did Princess Mila ever meet our burn victim?
Kalik.
Yeah,
I'm
Kalik.
sure she did, and that wasn't role played though.
There you go. I'm just wondering what she thought and what he thought seeing a princess being in close quarters with a princess. You know?
You guys have a ragtag group of people.
Yeah,
I think the person
we
he's
do.
most concerned with is the spider of the masts.
my
Well,
my
howdy.
big question. My big question. So it's the next morning.
Yes, it's the next one.
And I accidentally took a nice big swig of elvish liquor.
Oh yeah.
Which yeah, caught up real quick.
You and Bree.
Did this morning am I discovering that elvish liquor has a new magical property of no hangover, or do I feel like I've been hit like 3 trucks?
Make
By 3
a
trucks.
fortitude survival check.
Oh no.
You did this to yourself.
Oh, I know, but we gotta.
It's the flavor text. I like it.
Hey, 18.
18. It doesn't just completely go away. There's a bit of a hangover, but you can tell that the liquor itself is very well made liquor. And so it's one of those where you still have a little bit of a hangover, but it's not bad. It's not like a violent, like crazy headache, that kind of stuff. You just feel like a little bit queasy, but that's about it.
So I wake up. I'm gonna. Would it be a mind survival check to see what I remember from the evening after?
Make a wisdom skill check for me.
Wisdom skill. 15.
15. You remember a decent amount. You don't remember much after your final arm wrestling match with Yuki, but you kind of just like vaguely remember like stumbling back to your room and just hitting the hay. And at this point, I will mention it's around noon already in the next day.
So what I'm gathering is feel significantly better than I normally do after that much.
Yep.
Remember more than I normally do after that much.
Yeah, you actually remember everything clearly before you took a sip of that specific alcohol.
I am just kind of like, I need to go check with Nalathir. Where does he get that stuff? That is great. I need a stock of that in my room. That is Zill's first thought in the morning.
Oh my god.
As you make your way, Zill, up to the top deck, you notice that it is a very gloomy day. You can see that a lot of the sea mist has started to kind of not completely blanket the island, but it's surrounding the island, almost kind of like around the boat, as if your boat is like sailing on clouds. But it doesn't distract from the fact that the port itself is as busy as ever. There are people going to and from, almost as if the events from the previous couple of days never really happened. It's business as usual here in Folden Rock. You see that there are a number of your crew members that are up on top. Particularly, you see Akalik being taught the ropes, literally, by Barnacle Bill, as he's teaching him how to tie proper ropes and be able to work on specifically lifelines during rough seas. You see that Yuki is up at the top too, and she is basically just like practicing her instrument. Something like
she's playing Morning from Peer Gynt, or the Everlast equivalent.
I love it on your harp. But this is something that Yuki doesn't get a ton of opportunity to just do. There's not a lot of downtime or free time, and it is quite clear that she was waiting for the rest of the crew to come up. Yuki, you have seen basically a number of things happen from your other crew members today, as you did wake up a little bit earlier than the rest of them. Thordane, he is doing his due diligence to make sure that all of the thing he's working really hard with. What's her bucket?
Bree.
Who has Martha?
Bree.
Bree. To make sure that everything is stocked and ready to go, and so he's
And everyone's getting raises. I hope I'm not taking a point of freaking misery for nothing.
Oh yeah, everyone's getting raises. Everyone is making an additional 2 silver pieces.
Oh, that's pretty good.
EP,
Wait.
2 EP or EC, not EP, EC.
Oh man.
per day.
Oh my goodness.
That's good. That's good. Per how long? Just
Per-
whatever their
Yeah,
wages.
Yeah, whatever their wages. So
Everyone is making 2 additional EC a day.
That's pretty good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people just had their salary doubled or more.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, update that
Thordane's
on
a
your-
philanthropist.
Luxalia,
Thordane is a philanthropist.
She
Good.
slept in a little bit, but one of the things that had concerned her the most is the fact that Belvin hadn't come back last night. And so she is actually out on the town searching for him with her basically thinking about Fulden Temple first. But she's been gone for probably a couple of hours at this point, Yuki. At this point, you're just waiting for Zill because Belvin hadn't returned from last night. So you see Zill emerge from below deck, and you can see that he doesn't seem as sloshed, or at least struggling as much as he probably would have with the amount that he was drinking, because you remember everything clearly the night before.
You smashing his hand through the table.
Exactly. Um,
Thankfully, it was armored.
Yuki calls out to Zill as she's playing her harp some morning from Peer Gynt down from the crow's nest, and she says, "Ah, there you are, sleepyhead. It seems Uxalia has already made her way out onto the town. You're the last one up."
You know, I need to go find Nelithir. Whatever he had in his cup last night, ooh, that stuff was good. That stuff was real good. I
Well,
need more of that.
I don't think it should be something that you should be spending all of your money on. A little bit of a good thing can go a long way.
Wait, it got me there with what? Well,
Just a little. I mean,
I
you
only
drank
had
a
this.
decent amount. Right?
Well, I drank his whole beer, but I don't know how much you put in that beer. So if you only put this much, some like one bottle would last me maybe a week, if not more.
Wow. Well,
Probably much longer
I'm
than a
not.
week, but
I'm sure we'll run into Nala throughout the town. I actually saw him leave the boat earlier this morning as well.
okay.
But speaking of which, Belbin hasn't come back. I'm kind of concerned. I think we should maybe go check in on him at Folden Temple.
Was I anywhere near the conversation between you and Thording about? I don't
you were
think so.
near, but you don't remember
You're-
too much about
Yeah,
the specifics of it.
and I mean, I was planning on talking to Zill a little bit about it. But
Okay.
I guess I could crawl down the mast and got some tips from Barnacle Bill in doing so, being quicker about it. I give what's his name, Akalik a high five as he's greeting people on the ship coming on and off, and I walk over to Zill and I say, "How much do you actually remember from last night? You seem a little drunk, but not too bad."
I remember crushing almost everyone at arm wrestling. We're not going to talk about that last one. He just kind of
Well,
looks away from you.
to be perfectly honest, Zill, I am pretty strong.
I have no idea to what you are referring to.
I am pretty strong. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I actually had a really good talk with Thordan, and it actually explains a whole lot.
I heard something, but I was a little busy to really notice.
And then yeah, basically Yuki will take some time without role playing it too much to explaining the fact that he feels less burdened these days and feels very jovial, like he hasn't in a while, and that um part of the reason that he was feeling the way he was he was attached to a cursed sword, and then she'll say to Azil, and it's so interesting because like he said that it gave him a bloodlust, and that worries me considering the fact that Belbin has the sword now. I have a feeling Belbin might be in some danger.
Well, this can't be good. And as Zill's hearing this, he looks at his new axe that's named after the demon.
Well, I don't think she's not a demon Calvinist, right? She's just
No,
cranky old lady.
She is a person that is of note from history. So she is actually a high tower elf who is a famous treasure hunter. When she passed and when she had died, like this is something that like most, I would say, she's kind of like a legend, kind of like what would be the equivalent today for us, like I don't know.
Odysseus.
Buffalo Bill.
Two very different.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, sure, like Indiana Jones, something like that. But she existed actually back in the Second Age of Everlast, and so
She's old.
it's been some time, and so like the fact that you found like way back, what was it, like session 3 or 4, that you actually like found Calvinish's tomb and treasure trove, like it's something that it's just like this sword you all have known, like this sword is like something special. This is like an artifact like from like ages past. But in this case, you really had no idea that it was as cursed as it was. You thought that as soon as you banished the evil spirits that was haunting the crypt, that was it. But nope, Thordanes has been struggling for a little bit. So
Well, I don't know if it's anything like I mean, it seemed like Thordane seemed to be a pretty chill dude in general, but he was definitely more chill last night. I'm looking forward to seeing that Thordane more often from here on out.
Well, that's good. But you said Luxalia was looking for Belbin?
I don't know where she went. I know she went out on the town. I don't know if she needs to do some more shopping or maybe she's trying to spread the word of Alamnia. You know how she is.
Yeah. Well, well, that's concerning.
Mhm.
How much trouble could Belbin really get? Never mind. I'm not going to finish that question.
But at the same time, I know he is at the temple, unless he's moved on from there. I mean, if he's not at the temple, maybe he's bowling? I don't know. I guess we'll go check it.
I'm sure he'll be fine. Don't we have to go to the bar?
We do have to go to the bar, but we have the whole day to do so.
Great.
We have the whole day to do so.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
If there's any last minute things you need to do, I think maybe by the end of today we might be off on the high seas.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that is exactly it. So today, most likely will be your last day in Golden Rock. So if there's any loose ends that you need to tie up, now this session is going to be your time to do that. Additionally, whether it comes to shopping or even stuff, as I had mentioned earlier, there's such a thing as like upgrades and stuff for your ship that you could potentially
Oh, yeah.
for that. But in the meantime, if that's none of your concern, you have all of that with kind of like your picture your map where it's just like maybe some side quests on your map, but you have like the yellow main story quest right at the Gilded Mast.
Yeah. I think Thordane's gonna handle the upgrades on the ship because he's the captain, right?
He is the captain.
He is the captain. That's what he does.
So currently, the plan for the ship right now, as far as everything that's considered with Thordane, is making sure that you are all stocked up on everything that you need for the journey south, as far south as Aishan Island. The plan is to return to Aishan Island or and stop and make a way for Skyspire Island if you are unable to find Eldred Monteblair here. But it is a long voyage that is ahead of you, essentially. You will return with a brief stop to Feshenfei to drop Princess Mila off and figure out what's going on there. But be prepared for a long, long voyage at sea, essentially.
And Yuki's like, speaking of which, where is Princess Mila? Had Yuki seen Princess Mila yet? Did she go anywhere? Or she's just chilling?
She has not
on the ship?
actually awoken, or at least made her way up onto the upper decks all day. Thus
No.
far.
Yuki turns to Zill and says, "Well, I know we've left Princess Mila in the past, and I don't want her to be bored on the ship, and especially since she's here as an emissary, maybe it'd be a good idea if we at least asked her if she wanted to join us."
Yeah, probably. I know if we're gonna wait on the bar, I always like looking at some new wares.
Yeah, and she's a princess, and who knows? And speaking of which, Zill, I went to your blacksmith friend, and he has a Refinium pair of knuckles that are really cool, and I think they could really benefit Belbin. But he was asking so much money for them.
Yeah, Refinium is pricey. I mean,
Maybe you should talk to him about it and see if you can get a better price than I did.
probably not.
Well, it's worth a try, right? But that's neither here nor there. Shall we go try to wake Princess Mila? Or shall I try to go wake Princess Mila? While you prepare
I'm
and
not
talk
going
to your
near her.
new friend, and points over to Akalik.
Ah, yes, I should probably see how the lad is adjusting.
Yeah.
Lad, who am I? What is happening?
I like it. You're turning into a curmudgeon. I love it.
Yes. I should probably see how he's adjusting. See him. Barnacle Bill is scared him off yet or not?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you roleplay that first.
And so, Zill, you make your way over to the central mast where many of the lifelines are being secured. And you see that Akalik is actually doing a decent job of learning the knots and learning the ropes. As you see Barnacle Bill, he's just like, "Oh yeah, make sure to go under this part." And he is actually doing a really good job, kind of steady. This is the most adult you've seen Barnacle Bill ever, taking care and teaching him literally the ropes. And Akalik seems to be learning this pretty well. And as you approach, Akalik says, "Oh, Zill, what do you think?" as he points to like 3 of these lifelines that have been tied already.
Zill looks at them. He's like, all I can say is you can do it better than I can already. I don't know much more than that, so I'm assuming you're doing great.
And Barnacle Bill, he says, he's doing a swell job, I would have to say. Speaking of which, have you seen the captain lately?
I just got up here, Bill. I haven't seen really anyone unless you see him on the deck here with us.
I think that this boy, and he points down to Eclaas, well, let's just say, I don't think he's very mobile by himself. He needs someone to push him around. Perhaps that could be something that he could use to maneuver himself around.
Could we just, like, tie him up? But, like, so the rope can, like, swing around and... Like, there's a lot of places to tie ropes. Can we, like, put him on a swing and he can just kind of shuffle around?
Make an influence skill check for me.
Oh my god. This is not meant to be disrespectful to a Kalik.
I like that.
This is meant to be like a genuine idea. Yeah. 9.
Eclaas looks at you, like his eyes just like terrified of that. He's like, no. But Barnacle Bill says, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his chair.
Oh, okay. Well, could we... no, never mind.
I think he would benefit from some bigger wheels.
I'm looking at this chair, and I'm like, you know...
The only thing he could properly do in this chair is ask for chocolates, or reject them at the very least.
I feel like... Do we have any extra, like, cart wheels? I feel like it needs bigger wheels. Because it's just got basically, like, 4 small wheels on it, right?
Yeah, basically think of like one of those like rolly chairs that
Yeah.
someone has to
my
actually
God.
push.
I don't know. I feel like I could rig up something to attach with Tully's help. To attach some bigger wheels and make it so he can move himself around, maybe.
Eclaas looks to you and he says, that sounds like a good idea, as he is like, maybe, and he puts his hands on either side of, maybe if they like reached up to here, and so he's like, perhaps a wagon wheel might work on either side.
Yeah. Okay, like how would you say your upper body strength is?
Well, I've relied mostly on my legs for most of my work, but I'm sure I can work on it.
Do we have Barnacle Bill? Do we have some big rocks or something heavy around?
Actually, this is one thing that I do for most of my training. And he goes and he takes 2 of like the ropes that are tied off, and he starts doing the like what do they call it? Like the rope exercise.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
rowing.
this is what I do. Eclaas, you could do this for the rest of the afternoon. And Eclaas just like, wait, is this the whole reason that you need that upper body strength in order to climb the mast like me?
Yeah, I mean, you could do the ropes if we can find like just something heavy for you to just lift up and down. I know it's not the most fun thing, but it would make pushing the chair around yourself a little easier once we upgrade it. And well, I don't know how long the chair is going to take to modify, but you can start doing that now. It at least gives you something to do
Yeah,
when you're not working on your knots.
He looks to you and he says, sounds good. And he kind of like mentally prepares himself as Barnacle Bill wheels him like a little bit far, and he actually, what he does is he takes like these like wooden stoppers and puts them at the front wheels of his car, and he gives him the ropes, and he's like, all right now, like this. And you can see Eclaas, and he's just like, he's really struggling because these are big, heavy ropes, and so he's like,
Yeah.
and he's like, all right, I want to see you do 3 reps and 400 of these. He's just looking.
Oh my God.
Each arm, and he's just like, yeah, each arm.
Is Barnacle Bill just jacked? Like, I know he's old Spider-Man, like Crawley, but is he like just yoked?
He is lean. I will say that. But
Okay.
if he like gave you like a muscle, you wouldn't see like a huge like muscle there. But he also has full function of his lower body too.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my goodness. Great.
We
We've
gotta make up
started
for what you
Eclaas.
don't have, don't we, Eclaas?
Is he goofy now?
That's banjo. That's a banjo.
But Yuki and I are about to head in town. Is there anything you need? We're probably setting off today, Kalik. I don't know if or when we'll be back. To hear, is there anything anything you need me to grab? Any Fold and Rock specialties you want me to pick up? Any last minute things or just stuff you need around the ship before I head into town?
That's good, yeah.
He thinks for a moment, and he says, actually, now that you mention it, if you could stop by Soot and Ash, I left most of my stuff there. Particularly, I have a notebook that I keep most of my secrets and connections in there. If you could stop by and grab that, that would be very much appreciated.
Calyx notebook. We can do that.
So thank you very much. Looks like I'm going to be quite busy, and I think getting around town, especially on the streets the way that they are, it might be a little bit difficult in my current situation. But if you could also pick up some wagon wheels, maybe we can perhaps get this better. Oh, and also he says maybe we can find just a stray piece of lumber down below, but this thing keeps collapsing every time I like try to readjust myself and sit in it. If we could maybe, I don't know, somehow get some kind of like a brace on it to be able to keep it open while I'm sitting, I think that might make it a lot more comfortable.
Zill just quickly looks around. Does he see any
There's
big
no
sticks, basically?
So there's nothing. Actually the top deck of the ship is pretty clean. There's not just like random stuff thrown here and there. If you were to look stuff on the ship, it would probably be below deck, and you would definitely need probably some help to be able to fasten that as well. So it's something that you could pass off to whoever you want to get that.
I quickly go find and mention it to Tully.
And Toli, he begrudgingly agrees to do so, but he doesn't.
Much
So he goes and
thanks.
he finds basically some iron rivets that he's able to like, kind of like it's like kind of like a sideways moving. So you can like fold the chair up, but it's like a sideways moving kind of like the hinge. That he's going to basically use to screw into his chair, and so you can basically take it and like prop it open while someone is there. And so, again, it's pretty rudimentary. You can tell that Toli's putting minimum effort in for his craft, but it works. It works with that. And we're going to actually go to Yuki now, as Yuki, you make your way below deck as Zill walks over to Kalik.
She knocks on the door.
And you see that it's not very busy here. Most of the people that are out and about are either one deck below in the cargo or are just kind of doing their thing. You do hear some noises coming at the end of the hall from the dining hall, but you go over and you knock on Princess Mila's door. Do you say anything?
Yeah, I say, Princess Mila, are you awake? It's Yuki.
You wait for a moment and you don't hear an answer.
Oh, weird. She's gonna see if the door's open and open it a crack, and be like, "Pardon the intrusion," and look in if it's not locked or anything.
Yep, it is unlocked, and you are able to peer in. It is pretty dark in here, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look to be as if anybody is here.
Okay. All right. She's going to see that. Take a quick look into the dining area. I don't think she would be below decks. Um, and then she'll if she can't find her in any of those places, she's gonna go knock on Thordain's door.
Okay. Yeah, as you peer into the dining room, you can tell that there are a number of people. Specifically, you can see Remy, you can see Lyra, and also you can see Finn in here, all doing what they can to repair the broken table from last night. And assisting them with it, you actually see Princess Mila as well.
Oh, that's kind. Yuki walks up to them and says, "Good morning, and I'm sorry for this."
Peer up and they say, "Oh no, it's fine," and they all kind of give like their own kind of like platitudes of like, "Oh, it's no problem," or whatnot. But Princess Mila, she says, "What can I do for you, Yuki?"
Oh, well, I looked for you in the room, but today's actually going to be our last day in Folden Rock, and I wanted to know if you still wanted to join us. We have some unfinished business we need to take care of. Or you can also, if you don't want to go, follow Zill and I around, you can also go with Thordain. I know he's got to do a bunch of preparations for getting ready to take off. I don't know what's more up your alley or your cup of tea, but I thought I wanted to offer if you wanted to come with us or not.
Well, where are you headed today?
Well, first we're going to be going to the cathedral. We need to get Belbin. He's still out there, it seems. And then we might do some quick errands on the way back. But ultimately, our main mission, and she kind of leans in close, is if you remember, we got to go to the tavern in Lowtown.
She
Or in the
smiles
Port District.
she smiles and she says, "Just give me a few minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up and help them out, and I'll be with you in about 20, 30 minutes, if that's okay by you."
Perfect. And Yuki actually turns to Finn and says, Finn, I've actually been meaning to talk to you. I know
How have you
we're
now?
running. Yeah, we've been running low on supplies, and I know especially with that Azale Dune incident, we haven't really had an opportunity to fix up our munitions on the ship. Consider talking to Thordain. I know that he's again getting things ready to depart, but if we need anything as far as like the cannons go, or as far as restocking on those things, please talk to him. So, because we're leaving tomorrow.
I was able to repair both ballistas that we have on the ship, but yeah, I would absolutely love a little bit of an upgrade, especially from what we've seen. We do have a few archers on board, but I want something to be able to pack a punch. I have a couple of things that perhaps could be useful for the ship, and he goes into like this list of like all kinds of potential like weaponry. One of which is like an iron like ram on the front of the ship. And so, like, if you were to like full-fledged just like ram something, it wouldn't do damage to the ship. And so, like a ram on the front, kind of for more of like a melee type combat. And he says, especially for a creature as large as like Azale Doom or anything like that, or even if they come into contact with other ships, it would be a great way to be able to do a ton of damage to something, or at least scare it away. Or at least injure it to a degree. He also says that as far as munitions go, it would be cool to have basically like oil that you can light ballistas, so you can like shoot them at like basically fire ballista bolts at like rafters to be able to, or not rafters, at sails to be able to burn them.
Okay.
Things like that.
Yeah, Yuki's gonna mark all this, and she says, I mean, today, if you have the time, make sure, or if you have the time, please take note of these. If you have any quotes on how much they would cost, I know us as a crew would be more than willing to put in towards upgrading our ship, because we want a safe ship is a well-armed ship is a safe ship, you know.
I couldn't agree more. Trust me, I will go ahead and give Captain Thordain.
Bill's not even here. All his axes.
I'll go ahead and give Captain Thordain all of this information, and I'm sure he will make a very prudent decision on what best to do.
Well, I appreciate it, Finn. Again, if there's anything anyone needs to ask us, including you, Remy, if you have anything you want us to pick up while we're out on the town, we can do that.
Pick up some good meat, as she calls. We went through a big store of it last night.
Okay. And she'll take that into account, and then she'll come up onto the deck and relay the information to Zill, about all that stuff. We need to quickly stop by the market. We don't need to roleplay it or anything, but get some meat. We'll also ask, is there anything you in particular wanted to do aside from getting Belbin to Zil?
Well, just having some time in my room again.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff I don't need. I've got an iron spear, a Damascus shield,
Oh, nice.
some other stuff.
Maybe you could
Also,
trade those for the knuckles for
quick
Belbin.
question, Kyle.
Yeah.
We had the cloak of fire protection in Flomberge and the hood of water breathing. Do we still have those, or do we give those back?
You do not have the cloak of water breathe or the hood of water breathing. So those are specifically for basically they're like a very, very few of them that were made for by the Fashion Elves, and so they're used for basically specific missions for people who can't breathe underwater. So those you do not have, but you still have the cloaks of the fire resistance.
Great.
Quick question. I do still have like the Elven chainmail. What is that? Is that medium armor or light armor?
That is medium armor, I believe.
Okay. Does Thordane benefit from having that? Because I've been holding on to it for Thordane for a while.
He
if
could.
n-
So he currently doesn't have a chainmail proficiency. However, it is elven chainmail, and so he could potentially, like during like sailing or whatever, gain proficiency in it if he wants to do so, or at least basic proficiency. Because it's just like a base, just like fashion fame, or not fashion fame. It's a base elven chainmail
Okay.
for it.
So the only two places Yuki actually wants to stop, other than Belbin and the tavern, and obviously restocking on food, she wants to see if she can find a jeweler really quick.
Okay.
And she wants to, while we're at the tavern, talking to what's her bucket, she wants to see if she can do a performance that evening. Doesn't need to be role played or anything, but just try to make a little bit more money back if she can do that. Yeah, that's all.
Also, I just realized I've just got meat. The meat's probably gone bad, hasn't it?
No, Waffle's been nibbling on it.
I don't know how long I've had that meat,
Nice.
but I have some meat.
You can give it over. You could give it over to Remy if you want.
Sure, I don't know if it's good, but I'm gonna give that over to Remy.
She takes it. She
Um,
sniffs it, and she's like, "How long have you had this?" It's kind of gone a little bit gray.
It's dry aged.
I don't remember.
You just carry, like this meat from your room.
Yeah. The other thing, I have a Damascus shield with a sigil. Anybody remember what the heck that's from?
Because
I don't.
Shield with a sigil. I believe we purchased that from.
Yeah.
Was it Port Grandium?
I think it was. It was when you could still use shields.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to sell it, like you could get some good money.
I know.
and
I'm like,
stuff for
I
it.
don't. Does anybody need a shield? Can anybody
I don't think
use
anyone uses
shields?
one aside from. Well, no one uses one on our team.
I'm like, Damascus takes forever
Ever,
to get
yeah.
to
Proficiency.
if you don't have it at all. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, Zil has a few things in mind.
Perfect. What do you want to
He
do
wants-
first?
Well, we can do.
You said Soot and Ash, right, Bill? Or Bill the Zil?
So Zil wants to go to Sitnash. We to the temple.
Mhm.
So I got some stuff to sell. I also would love to see if there's a better helm, better footwear, or just more like ingots and stuff to just build stuff myself.
What about these, Zil? And she hands Zil a Damascus and a Refinium ingot.
You've been holding out on me,
I
Yuki.
haven't been holding out. I know that you can use them to get things made, but now that you can make things,
I mean, I do owe you a refinium
sword.
sword, so
How much would you give me for these?
it's one of each.
Yeah.
Hold, please.
I'll give it to you at a huge discount. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. What are they worth about, Kyle?
So
Each?
basically like the ingots they're
Mhm.
pretty valuable and rare. I believe a Damascus ingot is worth.
I've got refinium at 48 EC.
That's what I have too, but that seems low. That seems really low for a freaking ingot.
A Refinium ingot?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's very, very low.
That's low. Okay.
Yeah, a Refinium ingot is worth 300 EC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Damascus is
ingot
150?
is 200 EC.
200.
Okay.
I could give you both of these for 200 EC, Zil. Basically get the Refinium one free.
Sold.
All right, sweet. So out of the Refinium ingot, I have 3 Damascus ingot. Do you want all 3 of them?
Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to part with them
For 400.
Sure.
Sweet.
Zil will take a good deal on. Do you know how much Damascus ingot weighs?
Damascus
Let's put in your
weighs...
room.
I'm guessing
2 pounds.
5. 2? Okay.
2 pounds.
Why do I have 5 for steel?
Steel is actually surprisingly heavier than Damascus.
That makes sense, actually. Great. I mean, I've got it all like in brackets because it's just chilling in my room, but okay, cool. Thank you, Yuki. I mean, one of these will go towards your sword.
Well, and also, I kind of figure I'm going to be spending this money on pretty much everyone anyway, so it's all going to the same place.
It's probably. I don't know if this would occur to Zil as much, but like I know it's a good idea, so do with this what you will.
Mhm.
It's probably always a good idea to look for potions.
I did look. I got all of them last session.
Yes, I know, but it's a new day.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There are potential
We'll do it real
resellers.
quick. We'll bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Let's just do all the shopping really quick.
Okay.
If that's,
So
if that's
Thornton
okay.
actually does approach you, the two of you, before you do depart. And he's like, "This is a list of things that we need for the ship if you're out," and he actually gives you money for said things. And so you guys don't have to worry about that as far as the meat and specifically meat, building materials that you need for various things, and then munitions.
So can we just say that we got them all?
You can just say that you
And
got
not-
them all.
Okay,
As far
cool.
Are
as
these just normal things we would find at the market?
Yep. So you guys don't have to go shopping for that specifically. As far as stuff for potions, I'm gonna actually have you roll, and so it depends on where you're going to look. So there are 3 potential places. There's the general port market. This tends to be more things that you would need for your ship, essentially, plus like taverns, that kind of stuff. The Lowtown market, as I had mentioned, it's more kind of like oddities, some cheaper things, some curiosities every now and then do pop up there. And then the Hightown market tends to be more like valuable stuff and just typical things that you would find.
So we'll probably start in the Lowtown market for the ship stuff.
Okay, yep.
Just get the best deal we can. It's pretty basic stuff. Then probably go to Hightown if we're looking for like upgraded materials, potions, a jeweler.
Perfect.
Does that make sense?
It makes
Mhm.
perfect sense. So we're gonna.
Well,
first
we have access to Hightown,
Yeah,
so that's fine.
yeah.
Might as well
Is
use it
there
while you're here.
Any purpose of checking Midtown or Lowtown?
No.
whatever.
The only thing that I can think of is the soot and ashes there, but you guys can go to that later on your way back if you want to go to the Golden Mouse. Princess Mila does join you on your excursions as well.
Okay.
Great.
As you all depart. So first and foremost, you guys head and you buy all of your purchase materials. You actually take a couple of your crew members with you, to which they stay back and make sure that everything gets to the ship. And it's basically like large cargo, like troughs that are being taken back to the ship. You're spending pretty penny. It's like going to Costco. And then you head to the Lowtown, or that's Lowtown, and then you head to Hightown, and you specifically head to the 2 places in particular, the Aurum Exchange, and then also the main markets that are on the street. So you're looking for potions specifically, is that correct?
Zil. I'm not looking for potions. I'm good. I'm
Alright,
chilling.
I'm gonna have you, Zil, roll a D10 for me. Or no, sorry, D100.
Get it. The big boy.
Where is it?
Get the big boy out.
The golf ball.
And then a D10 for me. So D100
Uh,
D2.
oh gosh, it. Oh no, I'm not finding potions. I rolled a 12.
Well, you never know. Can
Roll
find
a
some.
roll a D10 for me.
5.
So you are able to find today, there is a little bit of restocking that has gone on here. However, the same shop that all the potions were sold at last time, they have been sold. There are healing herbs and whatnot that are there as well. They have what look to be basically a bundle of 5 simple healing herbs and then 2 reliable healing herbs.
How much for all of it?
So for each of the regular healing herbs, that is going to be 4 EC apiece, and then so that would be 20 EC total for that, and then the 2 reliable healing herbs is going to be 16 EC.
So 36.
36 for everything.
Is haggling an option here?
You can try. Depends
Can
on
I
which
just
way you
roll
want to go.
for it?
If you want to be charming, you can go that way. If you want to be influential, you can go that way. But you're gonna have to explain to me how you're going to be doing such thing.
Yuki's gonna be giving him vibes. That's what she's gonna be doing.
I'm gonna attempt to be influential, potentially, if I can figure out how to explain
Yuki will turn to him and be like, "Ah, Sir Zil, I am here and I bought some potions yesterday. Is there anything you need today?"
So, yes, just kind of looking at them. These will certainly do, but is that some withering I see on the edges?
Oh yes, that's an astute eye, Sir Zil.
He picks up the herbs and he's just like, no. It's just it's simple drying.
Are you sure? Can I trust you?
Make an influence skill check. It's gonna be at advantage with Yuki's, or a hope with Yuki's help.
21.
Oh, well done. You're so influential, sir.
That hope came in clutch.
He takes a look at it and he's just like, it'll be the same. It'll do all the same, but you do have a point. And he goes ahead and he takes 6 EC off of everything. So
Nice,
30 EC.
30.
Nice round number.
Great.
Cool.
So, okay, 30 EC, and then that was simple healing herbs.
Yep. And then 2
5.
reliable. Yeah, 5, and then 2 reliable.
Okay. Oh gosh, typing is hard. Oh, what? Simple healing herbs. Reliable healing herbs. I don't remember what these do, but that's not a current problem.
Yeah, the simple healing herbs, they restore 1d8 hit points, and then the reliable is 1d12.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good.
1d8 HP. 1.
What do you do? Do you just shove them in your mouth and eat them, or do you have to prepare them?
No. So basically, like, they're kind of like, you don't consume them. You, like, put them in your wounds.
Oh, nice. Does it sting? Is it like lemons?
It's like lemons.
Okay. Cool. To the blacksmith.
So you head back down to Lowtown. I'll say you guys stopped by the blacksmith in Lowtown on your way there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And you make your way over there, and so you're looking for specifically what? A helm?
Either an iron Damascus or refined. Anything better than a normal one.
Okay.
Whatever footwear he has. I don't know what the options are, so just seeing what the options are, and to sell a few things.
I'm gonna have you roll a D100, followed by D10.
Ooh, 87.
Okay.
That's pretty good. It's gonna be refined. I mean, you can't afford it.
And a 6.
So as you make your way back towards what do they call this place?
A blacksmith.
The blacksmith, but there's a name for it.
gosh. Wait, I've got it written down.
By the way, so I know I got the bamboo staff last time for Luxalia.
Mhm.
Who can check to see like what it does? Who do I go to
Potentially
for these
someone in
things?
Hightown that you could
Okay.
check for that.
Per- Okay, I was wondering. I forgot I had
and we
to do
can,
that.
we can look at that next.
Yeah.
Jordan's Anvil.
Jorn's Anvil. And so you make your way over, and Jorn, he says, "Seems I'm running into you every day. Oh, and your companion, too.
This is my favorite place on the island.
Oh yes,
happy
sir,
to hear
Zil.
that.
We've come to the blacksmith.
I wouldn't leave Folden Rock without saying goodbye to you, John.
Oh, your plan is to depart, isn't it? It'll be a
It
sad
is,
day for Folden Rock,
unfortunately.
when one of the greatest blacksmiths that I have seen from abroad departs this place."
Thank you. Thank you. What is this? My accent changes every 3
It's all
seconds.
good. It's all good.
Princess Vela's just happily watching this interaction go down.
And Yuki turns to her and says, "Take notes. He's an odd one, Zil, but for some reason he does well with the blacksmiths."
I think it has something to do with that he's good at what he does.
Not his personality? Interesting. Yuki just-
So, John, I've got some stuff to part with if you're interested. I'm also wondering if you've got some equipment or materials available.
Aye, what you looking for, lad?
He just kind of knocks on his head, which I always forget he has a helm and he's technically probably wearing it, but I always picture him not wearing it. Anyway,
Yeah,
not important.
Yeah, if you're not in battle, we'll just say you're not wearing it.
Just knock on my head and knock on my feet.
Oh, I see. Something that would match that beautiful chest piece that you've got there.
I mean, if you got something that nice, that would be excellent.
Nothing is that nice, lad. As he goes into...
You did good work on this one. He made it, right?
Yeah. No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He made it.
I can never remember with the enchantment.
And he goes into the back and he pulls out a few things. So he has a number of options of helmets and actually like kind of like iron or metal boots, like steel boots. One of them is a honed steel boots. Another one is a Damascus set of boots. And helms, he has 3 different versions. So he has 2 honed steel. One of them is more in kind of like the earthen fairy style. Kind of like bigger, bolder geometric shapes. Think of like Lord of the Rings dwarf kind of look. And then another one is more along the lines of kind of like a full, not like a full face helm, but it's like it has, how do I explain it? It's got like side protection, and then it actually has kind of like I think they call it like a coif or something. It's like a metal hood that you put, like a chainmail hood that you put underneath, and then you put the helmet on top. And so
Yeah.
you can kind of see it this way. And so definitely something that would be more of like the Grandian Empire type of style.
Gotcha.
And that's the
I'm imagining like the Ministerious Guards of the Citadel with the
something
crazy
kind
wings.
of like that. It doesn't have like the big
Yeah.
like feathers, but something kind of similar to that.
Okay.
And then the last one is a Damascus helm, and this one is more of just kind of your traditional one that has kind of like a face mask that goes up and down, kind of like a full helm. It's not a great helm, but it's like a full face helm.
Yeah. And are they all like item like classification helms, or are they like different types of headgear?
They're all helms, so.
Okay. I'm looking at the Damascus helm.
So if you're, as you examine this, he says, "You've got a good eye for this, I would have to say." And he looks at kind of the patterns that are on it, and they're subtle. And he says, "It seems that this would match if you wished to purchase something such as this." And he kind of runs his hands kind of over the kind of sharper edges of this. He's like, "You do have to be careful, though, while taking this on and off." And he kind of does the ins and outs, and he comes over to you, and he gets like a step stool, and he climbs up one step. You're not that tall. And so he climbs up one step.
I'm short.
Yeah, you're not that tall. And so he puts the helmet on and makes sure that it fits and everything, and he says, "How does it feel?"
Wonderful.
Good. And he's just like taking these into note as if he's like really busy, kind of like making sure like everything fits and his measurements. He's a professional. This is what he does. And he climbs back down and he takes it and he says, "Are you interested?"
Absolutely.
All right. And he kind of strokes his beard as he's thinking of a price, and he says, "This typically I would probably not let go of for less than 400 EC, but for my favorite customer, 250 EC."
Oh my god!
We're gonna say yes for that one, and then we'll keep the total running.
All right, and he goes and he grabs some boots as well. There are a few of them. Some of them are actually like pretty nice, like hardened leather, where there's like kind of like a plate of steel, kind of like an iron-toed boot that they have. Those ones specifically are going to be more useful for basically like any kind of like travel-based checks. The other ones that he pulls out are like large, like iron, like steel, or like steel metal boots.
Okay.
And he's got one of each. He's got a pair of honed steel, like armored boots, and then he's got a pair of essentially steel-toed boots that's
Okay.
are for sale.
Because right now I just have like kind of plain boots that say I have +1 to initiative.
So
Okay.
your those are you won't get that bonus. You'll probably lose that bonus if you purchase.
Yeah,
either
I'm
of these.
okay with. I've got a +3. I always go last anyway. I'm not worried about my initiative.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of trying to wonder like what the classifications are.
So the
Just-
the steel plated boots, those basically you get advantage or hope on fortitude survival checks while wearing those. And for the steel toed, every time that you have to roll to gain a point of weariness while you are traveling, you can add a +2 to the results of your roll.
I'm definitely just. I mean, thematically more interested in the armored ones.
Okay.
So want the armored ones.
With that, he
The hun-
says, "Well, these are fine works. Not quite Damascus quality, but and he
That's
examines-
okay.
I could depart with them for 150 for the set. EC, that
Okay.
is.
Yes. So we're up to 400. Perfect. Add him to the helm. And then does he have any just ingots of any kind?
He does have some ingots. As far as what he has for sale, he doesn't have anything Refinium. He has 2 Damascus ingots, and he also has like an entire like stack of like 6 honed steel ingots.
How much for all the ingots?
Well, and he goes in and he calculates everything, and so the base price would be about 400 for the 2 ingots plus the 6
Yeah.
honed steel, which each of those go for 50 EC apiece.
Okay, I have him as 12, so that would be 700.
700, and he is going to go ahead and take
Oh.
off 200 from the total.
Gosh.
Look at you,
500. Okay.
getting poor now.
I mean, we got a lot of money, so well, actually, yeah, that would be. And then I've got some stuff. If you're interested, and I show a Damascus shield, an iron spear, and oh, I still got this Refinium long axe. I like him enough. So a Damascus shield,
Okay.
an iron spear that's probably like $1, and then a Refinium long axe.
Ooh, he's gonna like that.
Well, look at this here. As he grabs the long axe that you take off of your back, and he's like, "I'm not gonna lie, I've been eyeing that since I've seen you."
I figured to be honest, it's not in my axe repertoire, so I don't. While it's a beautiful piece, I don't have a lot of use for it. And I've been trying to find a good home to give it, and I mean, you've been so kind, I can't think of a better one.
Well, I would be more than happy to display this in my shop. This would draw many an adventurer next to that armor that you have there.
This one I didn't make. I'll be honest, I found it, but.
But just look at the quality of it. And he
Oh,
turns it
very,
over in
very.
his
That's why.
hand,
Why do you think I picked it up?
and he nods. He says, "I could take off. Let's say I take off 700 for this,
Just the axe.
for just the axe."
Deal. How much for the
You got
shield?
scammed.
He looks.
I like the guy. He's
he
giving me so
looks
many
at it,
discounts.
and he's like, "Oh, I see. Did you buy this in Port Grandium?"
Yes.
Well, there are many adventurers that do like the way that the Grandium sigil looks. Many loyal to the Empire here. Yes, I'll take this. Take another 250 off of your.
He owes me 50 right now.
Yeah, you know, it's all good.
Let's say this. You've been so kind to me. Take these two with. I'll just throw in the iron spear. Call it good.
You're far too kind, Master Zil.
So are you.
With that, you just have the even trades for everything.
Okay, so I got 2 Damascus ingots, 6 steel ingots, Damascus helm, and steel boots.
Yep.
Great.
And Yuki's gonna pipe up and be like, "I have a couple things maybe I could part from as well." And she takes out the Callus dagger. It's a rare dagger that she found in the not the Broken Keep, but
On Aishan Island.
on Aishan Island, and her steel cuirass because she's got a Damascus one.
Okay, perfect. He takes a look at these and he says, this one's very interesting. And he takes up the dagger and he says, where exactly did you find something such as this?
On Aishan Island, actually, when we were doing our escapades in the jungle.
This looks to be dark elven make. Yes, I've never actually come across one of these in all of my time that I've set up shop here on Fulden Rock. Yes. I would take it for 80 easy.
That sounds great to me.
And what was the other one?
The steel cuirass.
Steel cuirass.
Yeah, so heavy armor, steel cuirass.
Oh, look
plus
at this.
one.
This looks to be like it's fitted for a lady. Oh, I have my fair share of female adventures that come through here. And he looks at it and he sees that there are a couple of dents that he's like, oh, I could buff that out and whatnot. And he says, I could purchase this for 400 EC.
That sounds great to me. How much again were those Refinium brass knuckles again from yesterday? I can't remember.
Yes.
What was it, 2,000?
Those of my personal collection. 1,200.
1,200 after the 400. I could get it. I could get it. It would be real close. Yuki's just.
So I want you to know, right now, Belbin's specific gloves, they're a +1 weapon. So he's got +1 to hit, but he also gets an additional D4 dark damage on top of his attacks.
Yeah. So what would the Refinium do instead,
Just
comparatively?
+3/+3 to his hit and damage.
So the hit
But it's
would
to
be-
his hit though, which is really nice
But
for
that
him.
comes with experience either way, right? Is that still the case?
Was that?
If you get enough experience for the next tier, you get the hit bonus without a weapon upgrade. Or is that not true anymore?
No, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm thinking, Max, do you think Connor would appreciate having some new punchers that are Refinium? Or do you think that it'd be best served by not giving him?
I don't know if Belvin cares about that kind of stuff because he wears literal rags.
Well, I know, but
But
it's
no, he
like
does like shiny. I mean, he likes shiny things.
in the Refinium, which is
So,
sick.
From a weapon standpoint, I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But
either.
from a this is shiny and expensive, he would absolutely love it.
Kyle, what do you think?
To be honest, I don't really know. I think Connor would appreciate it, but I think he has technically a higher damage potential with the gloves, and so he's probably okay with that.
Yeah.
Here's my question.
Mhm.
If he has the knuckles on, can he wrap the wraps around it
No, that's not how that works.
and get the attack bonus of the knuckles?
The one thing I
but
will
then-
say is you could potentially enchant the Refineum. So there's always kind
Yeah.
of added where you can like give it an enchantment too.
Yeah. Are they a different weapon type than his wraps?
No, they're
it's
technically
the
still
same, right?
knuckles.
Okay.
Well, I know we've been spending a lot of time doing this, and so what Yuki will say is she'll be like, "Well, hold on to these. If you find someone who was willing to purchase them, maybe on the way back I'll be willing to purchase these. But yes, for now, 480 for the cuirass and the dagger, if that's okay."
He nods and he says, "Pleasure doing business with you. And what about you, little lady?" As he looks to Princess Mila, and she says, "No, I'm good. I'm just along for the moral support."
Sounding like freaking Luxalia there. It's
And
nice.
he nods and he says, "Well, if you ever do come by Fulton Rock again, you know exactly where to come. Hopefully I'll have many more things for sale. And I'm very excited to see what you have to sell me."
Joan, it's been a true pleasure.
It is indeed. Make sure you
Hopefully
stop by
we
the
will meet
Adventurers
again.
Guild, and you make sure to wish Thaddeus goodbye.
We need our reward.
I forgot. Thank you, Kyle. Can we do that just really quick?
Yeah.
No role
Just
play,
really quick.
Jump in.
Yeah,
You
just
go
jump
in
in,
there,
being
and
like,
Thaddeus, he sees you coming, and he's just like, "Well, if it isn't the talk of the town," and there are many adventurers that are in here, and they look to you, and they actually all stand to give you a standing ovation as Thaddeus walks
Sales
over
just
to the
hamming it
board,
up.
and he rips down the Rolo Beaumont, basically the bill, the wanted bill, and he goes back over to the counter, and he's just like, "All right," and he counts out. He takes out an entire like a gigantic sack, and he plays it down. And he counts everything out, and he says, "And that is 2,000 EC for you,
Ho, ho, ho. Even four-way split?
even for waste."
Five-way split? Are we including Thordain in this?
nah, Thordain's good.
Okay.
Thordain's NPC.
500 each. Dang.
That's pretty
Nice.
good.
Okay.
Um,
I'm updating all three of them, so.
and then Yuki says in tongue in cheeks, like, "We appreciate it. I know you didn't have faith in us, but we'll make sure to get a Zale next," and gives him a wink.
Come back
Frickin'
and pick up
Belvin
your reward,
is
unlike what you
loaded.
forgot about this one. I think you're
Yeah.
telling all of these adventurers a thing or two, not to be too greedy. It took you a couple of days to come back and claim a reward. Most people would be coming back just as soon as possible to claim it.
Well, you can thank Bjorn from the Anvil place. He, I
No,
forget
no
his-
B, just Jordan.
or
Jorn's
Jorn.
Anvil.
You can think of Jorn from the blacksmith. He told us to give you his best as well.
And with that, you
Belbin
have
has
collected
4
your,
grand.
subtotal. Where are you?
What's
off?
Belbin? Hold on. What's Belbin's chilling at? I want to know this.
4,000.
4,000.
With a 2,300 EC, 200 EP.
We'll tell him. What we'll tell him is like, hey, there's some Refinium knuckles. Go get those. Never mind. I thought it was gonna be too kind to
I know
Belbin.
we don't know how, like, our
I know.
characters don't know how loaded Belbin is.
I
Holy
know.
crap, Belbin's freaking loaded.
He's gonna go into retirement after this. Okay, so we got to go to Soot and Ash quickly.
Yeah, just grab his stuff.
And you just do. We're not going to role play that. Basically,
Yeah, that's fine.
Asher Corvus, he knows exactly who you are, and you just tell him what he's there for. He opens the trap door. He goes down and grabs all of his stuff, including the notebook. Gives it all to you.
Hightown. I need to look at
Oh,
someone
I
who.
forgot to ask Jordan, does he have any wagon wheels or know where to get
Oh
them?
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Wagon wheels would be found in the port district.
Okay.
We'll come
cool.
back when we go there. Again, in Hightown, the only other two things aside from finding Belbin is a jeweler and someone who can decipher enchantments.
So you make your way to Hightown, and in the same kind of shopping center, shopping area, there is absolutely a jeweler. What specifically are you looking for?
Rings.
Rings. What kind specifically? Any specific
Well,
look, signet rings, anything like that?
in particular, because I do you remember when we were at the manor for the Harrowgates,
Mhm.
I promised to get what's her bucket, something to remember Eclaas from.
Yes.
So something, it doesn't need to be enchanted or anything, but something that like we can engrave. It's like that says like Eclaas, friends of Eclaas or something like that.
Yeah,
And
you make your way
to be
there, and it depends on what material you want, but I'm going to have you roll a
Mhm.
D100 for that.
Throwing around a golf ball.
98.
98. They have
That's as
all the
good as
way
it can
up to
get.
platinum. So anything and everything in between. And also, on top of that,
Mhm.
they have specific ones that are like signet rings that haven't been pressed yet. And so if you have some kind of like specific custom like logo or something you want to put in
Mhm.
there, they can do that for an additional cost as well.
Yep. So Yuki is going to first ask how much the platinum rings are, as well as like the pressing cost, because we do have the Eclaas like sigil technically. Yeah.
So
So
the rings without any kind of is essentially
jewel.
like embossing
Mhm.
or like enchantments or anything on them. The
Mhm.
bronze rings go for 15 EC. The silver rings
Mhm.
are 30. The gold are going to be 60, and the platinum are 90.
Okay, I'm gonna get a 90 platinum,
Okay.
and any gems to put inside.
So it depends on the kind of ring. You could do a gem, or you could do the embossing if you wish to do one or the
Oh,
other.
so one or the other. We'll do an embossing then, and add that on top.
That would be an
So
extra 5 EC for the embossing.
okay, so 95.
Mhm.
Cool. We'll do that. And then what I'll do is I will ask the jeweler to send it to the Harrowgates. I'm assuming they probably know each other well and
Yep.
they can get it to them. So I'll just, since we're not going to visit the
They
Harrowgates
agree
again.
to do so, and they say, "Who is this from?"
This is from Eeas, specifically Yuki from Eeas, and it is the gift that she promised to give.
And with that,
Mhm.
they will go ahead and do that for you. And the last place that you wanted to look was Enchanter. So there is an Enchanter that Zill did go to before. Um,
Mhm.
Zill, if you want to introduce, you can absolutely do so.
I go with.
Yep.
You go ahead and you give this staff over to the individual, and
Mhm.
he takes a look at it and he says, "Oh, let me see what we've got here." And he says, hopefully that armor of yours is serving you well. And he takes basically like
Oh, so well.
this crystalline like looking like eyeglass, almost as if he's looking at something invisible on there. I'm gonna have you roll a d6 for me, Yuki.
5.
It is a light element.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Um, how much would I owe you for your services?
None needed.
Really? That's very kind of you. And Yuki actually looks through her bag and she says, I got one more thing actually. I've been holding on for a while, actually for a long, long time. And she takes out a glow twig buckler.
Hmm.
And she's like, I don't really know much about this, but what is this worth specifically?
This is not my area of expertise.
Oh, even though it's glow twig?
Glow twig is not an enchanted. It's basically
Oh,
it's like the uncommon.
yeah.
Wood.
The steel version of wood stuff.
Okay. Okay. Well, would you happen to know off the top of your head?
I couldn't even give you a ballpark answer.
Okay, that's fine. I was just wondering. Thank you for your help, and I
Point you over
appreciate
to
you.
the woodworker if you do wish to know how much it is.
It's fine. It's not a big deal. And actually, Yuki just hands him 5 silver. Thank you so much for your eas-
ECES?
yes. Yeah.
And he takes it and he says, "Much obliged. Make sure if you have anything else that is enchanted, I will go ahead and take a look at it. And depending on how impressive it is, um, we'll see if I charge."
I don't think we do. Do we have anything else?
Not that I know
I
of.
mean, you got your axe.
We already know about what that does, though.
Do we?
Right?
Do we
Yeah,
technically?
we do.
Okay. All right. I don't think we have anything else.
I don't
Okay.
think
So
so.
we're good. Thank you.
And now, the last and final thing, potentially. Is there a
Mhm.
final thing? Is there anything else?
No,
We're
I mean
searching for Belbin.
Belbin, and then we're going to the talk to Marla or whatever her name is.
To
You
the
head-
bar.
You make your way over to Fulden Temple, and you see that it's much emptier in this square than usual today. There aren't even like people just like walking by or anything. It seems pretty abandoned. There is still some construction going on for some repairs that are happening a couple blocks down. But you look at Fulden Temple and you walk up the steps and you see that there's this large sign that is placed on front of the door that says "Closed for today. Be back tomorrow."
Well, Belbin's here.
Are we sure he's here?
I mean, he went in with Jack. At the very least, we could go try to knock on
True.
Godfrey's personal quarters.
I guess.
Yeah, go knock on his window. Is
Throw a
Belbin
rock
here?
to his window.
Yeah, let's do it.
Goodness.
Princess Mila, is this how you would do it as a royal?
She says, "If there's a sign that says they're not open, they're not open. I would come back
Belbin.
tomorrow, but we won't be
But
here
we can't-
tomorrow."
Exactly.
That's exactly our problem.
But I also think if Belbin is not back by tomorrow, we probably shouldn't leave him here, don't you think?
Well, we got
I
bigger fish to fry. I'm joking.
Maybe it's a
well,
tomorrow problem.
tomorrow problem.
Or we can look at the bowling alley. You said that he is
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's stop by the bowling alley really quick, I guess, and then we'll stop by tomorrow morning before we leave. How's that sound?
I don't know. We could. He knows we're leaving, right?
No, but
Oh,
we'll stop by
crap.
tomorrow morning. Let's see. That's a good point, Princess Mila. So can we go to the bowling alley? Just quickly peek our heads in. Are there
peek your heads in and you
eruptions
see
and
that it's pretty low. At this point, it's about 3-4 p.m. In the afternoon. This is definitely it's a slow time. There's 3 lanes that are being used. The other 2 are not. So it doesn't seem to be anybody in here that you recognize. Not even now with you.
Oh, that's another guy. You need to find that delicious drink.
I know.
Well, I guess we go do the main quest.
Finally,
Fine.
an hour and a
With that,
half later.
We're going to take a brief pit stop break. So, guys, need to go to the restroom?
Right.
Go ahead and do that. We will be right back, everybody. Do not go anywhere. And we are back. How's it going, everybody? Sorry about that brief break, but yes, main quest stereotype.
Main quest. We're really bad at doing the main quest.
It's okay. It's happening. As the group of you make your way back to the port district, you find a pair of wheels that do look the relative size and shape. It is going to cost for the pair of them 2 EC. If you wish.
Bill's got it.
Got it.
Is Glyphix a thing still in this world?
Glyphix is a thing, but technically you don't know about it yet. So.
Okay. Even though we saw freaking what's
Yeah,
his
you've
bucket?
seen it. You've seen it, but like you don't really like know exactly what the ins and outs of it.
Didn't we used to have like a Glyphix watch?
Yeah, you did, but you no longer have that. Overpowered D&D items that got erased.
So much retconning has happened.
Yep.
It was right to happen, but so much.
Yes. But you make your way over to the port district, and as you're doing so, you actually see in the inn next to the Gilded Mask Tavern, through the window, you can see Luxalia having another cup of tea. Basically in here as she is speaking with the man who is here. What is his name? Oh man, I had it here somewhere. Maybe I'm crazy.
Probably, but unrelated.
Crazy. She was having a grand old conversation with the fancy boy that is here.
You have my sword.
I guess that's neither here nor there because I can't find what this place is called. Oh, the Salted Anchor Inn. Yeah, right next door. So she is having a jolly conversation with Master Einbert, but she turns around and she sees you walking kind of towards the Gilded Mask Tavern, and she thanks them, and she actually greets you outside, and she says, "Hello, how's it going? Where have you been all day? Oh, hi, Princess Mila." As she looks at you guys approaching.
Well, we have been getting things done. Have you seen Belbin? We've been looking all over him. The
yeah.
cathedral's closed.
Yeah, I went over to Folden Temple this morning, and I was able to catch, actually, as they were putting the sign out from the service this morning, afterwards, they said that they were going to be closed for today. But it turns out that Belbin, well, he was doing a thing or two with Jack, and he said the High Priest Godfrey said that he would be back on the ship by this evening. So I'm assuming he's probably back now?
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Oh, by the way, Luxalia. I mean, we'll roleplay it when Cole's actually here during the next session. I have this for you. Actually, I know that you've been looking for a new staff. You only have your rare one right now. However, I picked this up for you. And it hands her the bamboo staff.
Ooh, this looks familiar. She takes it and she sees the beautiful kind of bamboo engravement. She says, "Wow, this is great. Thanks. What do I owe you?"
And nothing. It's a gift. And even better, it is light element.
Oh. And she looks at it and she kind of examines it even closer, and she says, "I think I like this." And yeah, you can
Now
roleplay
you
that
have-
out with Cole later if you.
Yeah, now you have an earth element and a light element. Isn't that great?
And a fire element.
That's
I forgot about that one.
that's true. Oh my gosh. Well, cool. Well, we're here now. We got to talk to Marla, right?
Yes, she's in there, and it seems a little bit busy. It looks like they're having some kind of concert going on in there today.
Well, let's maybe talk to Jonas first and see if he can get us an
Concert
audience.
should dueling banjos.
Dueling banjo. Well, I was planning on
I think we need Barnacle
performing
Bill for that.
tonight. That's true. I was planning on performing tonight, but if they're busy, maybe I'll ask Jonas. We go up to the counter and ask Jonas. Jonas, your best coffee, and we have come to see Marla.
No coffee for me, please. So Luxalia chimes in.
I'll take a beer.
Jonas, he looks to you and he's like, "Well, if it isn't the talk of the town."
Ah, yes, well, we've been busy, as you can see.
You have indeed, Well, what can I do for you? A beer, coffee? Nothing for you. Just water, please. As he looks all you water. And what about you, little lady? I'll have tea as well. Or I'll have a tea. And he's just like, okay. And so he goes and he gets all the stuff. He's just like, what brings you into the Gilded Mass today?
Yuki hands him the letter that we got from Mr. Harrogate. We're like, we're here to see Marla.
Marla. She is a bit busy, but he points over kind of close to the stage, and there's and Marla, you can see that she's going through what looks to be papers at a table, kind of just to the left of the stage.
Well, we have some urgent business. We're actually leaving tomorrow, so hopefully we don't bother her too much going over there. But tonight, I was wondering if you had any free time before I leave. I could perform on the stage.
Well, we are looking for a closing act. Our closer decided to drop out on us today. Something about their home burning. You wouldn't know anything about
What?
this.
No.
What? There was a fire?
Oh.
Is everybody okay?
I never
That's
heard
what
of
this
that
concert
either.
is for. We're fundraising to help repair the buildings that are around. So,
Oh yeah, fundraising. Still throws in 10 ES.
Oh, Yuki's like, come on, Zil, you're so cheap, and throws him 45 EC.
Sorry, 12 ES. Sorry, Yuki.
I'll make sure that this goes where it's best needed. But yes, if you want to go talk to Marla, she's up there. She's going over the finances and everything from this concert. And feel free to sit back and enjoy it. He gives you all your drinks.
Oh, who's performing? Is it that Rita character that we
No,
had met
right now
before?
it's two individuals. One person is singing, and they kind of have it's kind of like a bossa nova type of thing going on. Someone's playing like a Spanish guitar, and the other person's singing. It's real nice.
So not Joe and Kevin
Not Joe
or
and
Nick.
No Nick either.
Okay. Well, we go over to Marla and say, "Excuse me, Marla, are you busy?"
She looks up to you like over the papers, and she says, "Yes, please have a seat. What can I do for you?"
Well, we are leaving town tomorrow, and we did actually get a meeting with Edmund Harrogate.
And she puts up her finger and she says, "Well, that's interesting." And she points over to the back room that you originally met with her, and she's like, "I have something back there that I need to grab. If you would accompany me."
Oh, yes, of course. Do you need us to help you pick up whatever you have here? Is it safe leaving it about?
I'll just take them with me. She goes in, she picks the papers up, and she puts them under her arm as she walks back, walking as to not really cause suspicion, kind of leaving you in the dusk to follow.
And we follow.
Make your way to the back room, and as you do so, she closes the door, and all of the noise just goes away. All you can hear is the sound of a crackling fireplace as she makes sure that everything is secure. She actually goes and she puts some kind of, I don't know, kind of like a rolled up towel to wedge underneath the door, and she says, "You spoke to him, and?"
Yes. Well, I don't know if you heard, but we had apprehended Rolo. I think he's a very misunderstood guy, but he is serving the time that he needs to serve. But that got us the meeting with Edmund Harrogate, and yeah, and Yuki just hands her the embossed letter to Marla.
She takes it, and you can see that she reads it very carefully, every single word that it says. And she says, "It seems that you have done the impossible, haven't you?" And she looks to all of you very intently, and she says, "Why should I trust you?"
You say the impossible. We say Tuesday afternoon.
Oh, Zil, you need to be more modest. Well, I mean, the thing is, and how I can't remember. Did we ever tell her our mission? Back in the day when we were actually out and about, I can't remember if we actually did. She just pretty much told us about the Hargates, right?
Yeah, you basically was like, we need to talk to, or it's like
Okay.
you were looking for Aldreg Monteblair, and that's why she took you to the back room, and then she said to go speak to Edmund Harrogate.
Yeah.
And she
Oh well,
said
Yuki.
he didn't give you any answers about where Aldreg Monteblair could be.
He doesn't know.
He gave us some directions. However, he said that you might be a good, since you are related to Edmund Harrogate, or not Harrogate. You are related to
Aldreg Monteblair.
Aldreg Monteblair. We're here to save him. Actually, we fear he may be in trouble. In particular from the pirate Jackman Nobbs.
Well, it seems like the cat is out of the bag. She gets up and she goes over to the window and she looks out onto the streets and then back to you and she says, "It is true, I am the niece of Aldreg Monteblair. And from everything that you have heard from Edmund Harrogate, it seems to a degree to check out. As I had mentioned, Jackman Nobbs is on the run. And he seems to be gathering many. Perhaps this isn't a conversation that I should have." And she walks over to the fireplace and she goes over to the fireplace pokers like that are there. And she goes ahead and instead of pulling the poker out, she actually turns it back towards her. The fire immediately snuffs out and a door, or like there's like a false kind of door behind the fireplace that goes down beneath the.
I love a good hidden room.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But I think the situation may be more dire than you think. I don't know what you know about Jackman Nobbs, and this is happening, and we're walking down the stairs. I'm assuming together.
Mhm.
So part of the reason we actually captured Rolo is we discovered the underbelly here on Folden Rock, and the demonic was at the center of it. In fact, Zil here, if he had fully gotten possessed, that could have been the end for the world of Everlast itself. But we were able to,
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
defeat the situation and come out victorious. However, from talking to Rolo himself, he's afraid, or not Rolo, the witch. What's her name? I can't remember. Flavalia?
Yeah.
Flavalia. Talking to the witch herself, Flavalia, who was possessed by a demon, she claims that Rolo Beaumont is also currently possessed by a demon, giving him powers way more than just that of a mere man.
No, Jackman Nobbs.
Jackman Nobbs.
Rolo's not possessed.
Rolo's in prison. Rolo is chilling.
She nods her head, and as you begin to, she is listening the entire time. She doesn't interrupt at all as she points you down the stairs. She picks up basically a candelabra, makes sure that the door is locked, and it begins to walk down the stairs. And you walk down what would be 2 or 3 flights of stairs as you continue deeper and deeper, and it starts to become kind of colder and dank. But as you get closer to the bottom, you see a door on the opposite end and a small glow coming from the other side. And as you do get closer, you begin to hear the sound of a small hammer.
Zil, I think it's one of your folk.
Are you holding out on me? Do you have a blacksmith down here? Why didn't you tell me?
She opens the door and she says, "Excuse me, Uncle. We have some guests."
What?
And into this room, you go into what looks to be a workshop of some kind. It's different from a blacksmithing workshop where there's like roaring fires and everything. And in fact, actually at the back end of it, you see what looks to be like this large kind of container, like glass kind of like giant beaker set. And you can see that there's like electric energy that is going through them. and you see all kinds of like brass and copper fittings all around, and you see a man hunched over a table, and he has basically these spectacles that like kind of zoom in a little bit, and he looks like to be working on something. As Marla announces herself, he goes, "Oh, good gracious!" And he takes his goggles off, and he looks at you, and he says, "I haven't seen your faces before. What can I do for you?" And he stands up, and he immediately grabs what looks to be like a hammer, like a larger hammer at his side, almost in a defensive position.
Oh, it's okay. We're friends.
We hope.
Would you happen to be? What's his name? Oh my gosh.
Aldrich
Aldrich Monteblair, perchance.
He looks to Marla. He doesn't answer you, and he looks to Marla, and Marla, she nods as if giving the okay, and he says, "I am. And what do you want with me?"
Zill just pulls out the earth key and puts it on the table.
Nice. Solid. Nice move.
He looks at it, and he looks up to you slowly, and he says, "Ah, I see. Have a seat." And he pulls up a few chairs for the four of you to be able to sit in. Marla, she excuses herself, and she walks back up the stairs.
Thanks, Marla.
And Yuki takes a seat and says, "We've been looking for you for quite some time. And
Everybody is these days.
we can see you're a busy man," as she looks around the workshop and says, "It's actually quite impressive." She's looking at all these different things. However, that's not what we're here for. We're here for, as you can see, we have the Earth Key.
Did Princess come with us?
Yeah, she's with
Okay.
us.
Like, why do I can just think of Irea.
Yeah. So we are Mila.
Thank you,
Mila.
Princess Mila.
We actually were at Fulden, or we came upon this
Flamongolis.
uh
No, Flomberge.
Flomberge.
Oh, the
So we long story short, she'll explain the whole thing of how they came upon the key in the actual, like, at the Earth Pillar, how they had gone to Ishan Island and went to Flomberge, and basically says the Flame Pillar has been acting up, and King Nalgor Kragheim thinks that it could be something horrible, and so he's called for a meeting of the keys of sorts. We, the current holders of the Earth Key, him the holder of the Flame Key, and actually, and Yuki gestures to Princess Mila. We've already talked with King Farron of Feshenfei, and we're all on board, but it's urgent. We need to meet together. We need to have this meeting.
He kind of unbuttons the top couple buttons of his shirt, and he pulls out on his neck what looks to be another key. It crackles, like it has a yellowish gem that kind of crackles with like a blue energy inside of it. He says,
Cool.
"I don't know what you know, and I don't know how you found me. But I'm not only in hiding because of what I wear around my neck. Jackman Nobbs needs me."
What do you mean needs?
He gestures to the room around him, and he says, "There are many manic works, magical works, all kinds of powers in this world that not just anybody can control. I've dedicated much of my life to creating what you see around you. It is a technology that I like to call Glyphex technology.
Foreshadowing.
Nice.
Like 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It allows one to be able to harness the powers of mana in a way to better fit whatever needs you wanted to do. I used to work on top of the Flortensia. I was the bosun. And I was in charge of weaponry. It was because of the cannons that I invented. The invention of black powder, and he points to some of the barrels off on the side. That is how we were able to take down Jackman Nobbs back in the day. That was until a couple months ago, when a ship, an entire fleet of ships, came to the shores of Skyspire Island, my home, unannounced. You can imagine my shock when Jackman Nobbs went to his skippy, set foot on my island, with an army of pirates behind him. He razed my town to the ground. I only just escaped. Many of my people have been kidnapped, enslaved, or butchered. He wants what I am capable of. My black powder weapons. He's gotten control of my warehouse, but he doesn't know about this. And if he were to find out, no fleet could stop him. My wife, my children. I can't do anything, or their lives will be at stake. He holds them captive on Skyspire Island. I've just spent my time here, trying to create something, a weapon, to take my island back.
Have you ever considered reaching out to the free nations of Everlast?
There are spies all throughout, at least the seas. If word to get out that I were reaching for some kind of alliance, my family would already be dead. I only to this day hold on hope that they are still alive. I do not wish to provoke them. That is until I'm ready. Until I'm ready to reclaim my home. He controls the Sky Pillar. The essence that powers this technology. Electric mana courses through all of this work. If he knows how to control it, or even if he knew of my research, we would all know it, which gives me some hope. But I am the only one who knows how to build it, which is why I have hidden myself. I am his greatest weapon that he could possibly use. And I do not want to be responsible for the downfall of the Grandium Empire and all of Everlast.
Well, it seems that it is fate that we've come to you. In fact, we've been charged with the fate of Everlast ourselves. In fact, I myself, Yuki, and this is Zil, and Luxalia, and Princess Mila. We are Eclaas Eeas. We have been tasked with freeing the world of Everlast from the demonic power, and we believe that Jackman Nobbs is possessed demonically, in a way. And it is our job to rid this world of that. So whether it's with your help or not, our quest is to go to Jackman Nobbs and bring him down. As we did with Rollo Beaumont here.
How did you get here? You say you came from Vlamberge.
We have a ship. The Alomnia's Breath. wasn't without our trials. We did run into Azaldun, and which wasn't great.
Wait. You ran into Azaldun, the Terror of the Sea, and you are here?
Yes.
We have
Seems I
Alumni
can't
on our side,
underestimate
you could
you.
say.
He looks to you just in bewilderment, and he just says, "How did you escape? What weapons are you rigged with your ship? Did you kill the beast?"
Unfortunately, no. We
We ran,
barely escaped.
but enough to tell the tale, and we learned some things in the process as well. We were marooned on an island, specifically one belonging to the Order of Amandalius. Either way, after rebuilding our ship, we were able to make it to we were able to make it to Feshin Fey, saved Princess Mila here, who had been captured by the Krakora. And now we've made our way here.
I see. You can understand my fear, anxieties. But now that I see that you are a holder of the key, and that you have met my constituents, I swore an oath when I took this key to always heed the call, and that is exactly what I shall do.
Wonderful.
But I need to save my family. My duty is clear, but my heart is torn. Say that I go with you. If you can outrun Azaldun, Terror of the Sea, and survive, especially with this. And he turns around and he reveals underneath one of his cloth what looks to be a small cannon. However, it has what looks to be kind of electric energy flowing through it.
Oh my god. What is
Let's
that?
go.
Yuki looks at it and is like,
This is a Glyphex cannon. It is what I have been creating to reclaim my home. If you have a ship that could hold this, perhaps it could be used. But I don't want to reveal such a power quite yet.
Yes, makes sense.
It is my duty to heed the call of the Order of the Keys, and with that, I shall go with you. But by night. Nobody can know that I am here. Nobody can know that this all down here exists.
we can do that. We can acquire getting you and everything that you need by night. We have made connections, powerful connections, and I'm sure they will assist us. However, that begs to differ. You said you were part of the Flortensia.
Yes.
Gunter now is one of our good friends, and he's currently docked at Aishan Island.
The Flotensia is actually how we roved the seas in the first place before we came across our ship.
Oh, yes, good memories. I forgot about that.
So we've been aboard.
I see. He looks up to the ceiling and looks back to you and he says, Providence has brought you here today, hasn't it?
Apparently. There's also a few other things that maybe are pertinent that we've been taken on many paths, faced many things, and they all seem to be coming together now. You say you want to save your family.
I do.
We started this journey because we, by providence, perchance, as you say, stumbled across the Earth Pillar accidentally, and it was under attack. And we came across a sorcerer on Aishan Island and a type of plague over its inhabitants. issues with the fire pillar, a Doom, cultists here, knobs returning, and it all felt disconnected until we met a witch named Flavalia who was possessed, and we realized the witch was possessed by something serving a demon named Lulathi. The creature attacking the Earth Pillar was serving Lulathi. From what we can tell, Lulathi was responsible for Nobbs's possession in some way. And the Krokora that kidnapped Mila here, and the plague was her influence, her slothfulness. And unfortunately, we know our paths will once again have to cross with Azaledoom. We have to try to kill him. Hopefully with your cannons, we have a better chance now, but it's all connected. Somehow Lulathi's behind all that, and we were originally sent on a mission against these demons. She's the third we've come across. Hopefully it'll be the second we've killed. But I think Nobbs is the next step to that goal. And all along the way, we'll protect the pillars. So you say your heart is torn. It's the same mission. It's the same goal.
Make an influence skill check for me.
Pro good. That was convincing.
12.
He looks to you and he says, "Yes. You could excuse me, for there's been a lot going on in my mind as of late. Fear has riddled me. And perhaps it is my complacency in these darkening days that has drawn me down here. But it isn't for naught. For what I have created in the past couple of months, with nothing but time and quiet.
We do want to respect your desire to protect your family. We understand that above all else. If we need to leave by night, if we need to keep the cannon hidden until the time is right, like, we can do. None of that is against what we're asking of you. We don't want to jeopardize your family either.
Thank you. You're far too kind for meeting just a stranger. I can clearly see that you are skilled in what you do.
Do we know you? No, but are you a stranger? We know you're a key holder. That's been good enough for the other two we've met. Why not for you?
I can understand where you're coming from. Many of the people that I have known in my time have betrayed me in one way or another. They've always sought what I can only possess. Not this key, not the sky pillar, but the knowledge that I pertain. And it has been my duty to keep that a secret, for if you knew what existed from below, a great evil, a machine of war would be unleashed upon Everlast, and Everlast would not be ready for it. I must be guarded, you must understand. There
Absolutely.
are many people who seek the destruction of the Three Peoples. And I hold cataclysm, death, within my very own mind and hands. If it were to die with me, I would be happy. But it has been granted to me, this brain. And I need to use it to save my family.
But it is a power that once unleashed will not be able to be contained. People will seek it, always. My life will never again be the same. Black powder is where it started. A terrible, terrible thing. But this,
And he points to the glyph-X contraptions all around him.
now this, could mean the end of Everlast as we know it.
We understand that. But we must take that risk.
You say it could be the end of Everlast as we know it. Unfortunately, Everlast's end is coming.
He looks to you. He narrows his gaze. And he tenses up, and then immediately he closes his eyes, and
I can feel it. There's something moving out there. In the stars, in the darkness.
A demonic cult found the shores of Folden Rock not yesterday. The demons are waking. What has been nightmares forever, what I thought was a children's story until a couple months ago, is our daily experience. Everlast's end is coming. Can your glyph-X help be the difference to prevent that?
I can only hope. It has not been tested properly, of course, being in such a confined space. But
I know someone who would want to test it.
But
he
You and
looks at
Finn.
him.
And Belvin.
perhaps you are right. Perhaps you are right. I have been given this gift of knowledge for moments such as these. And who knows what will become of the meeting of the keys. It has never been done. At Flomberge, there's a statue. These keys will reveal what is beneath. I do not know what trials are faced down there. But what I do know is that there are rumor of an ancient power, perhaps even greater than what I have here, that rests beneath the very island of Aishin Volcano, or Aishin Island. Who knows? There may be greater power yet to be attained.
There always seems to be.
It's the center of creation, after all.
Yes. Another thing. As real as I have found the demons to be, I've also newly found Alomnia to be just as real. Never thought so again. Children's story, never thought twice. I've done some terrible things for my own survival. That's how I've justified it my whole life, and it's still kind of fun sometimes. But it is real if we're not trying to push you to go against that either. I don't know much. I'm still new to this. I only went to my first temple service 3 days ago. How long?
2 days.
2 days ago. Time me is meaningless. But be aware of that. And I have one more thing I want you to consider. We only found you with help of Edmund, Lord Edmund,
Yes.
your friend.
Yes. You can see
He's
there's a little
worried
bit of
about
guilt
you.
in his eyes as he listens. The name.
He's worried about you. He doesn't know if you're alive right now.
Or was that just a front, Yuki?
He gave us a way to contact him, and he just asked us to, when we found you, let him know you were safe. Can we tell him at least that much? And I just put I don't know if I have it, but no, I probably don't.
Oh, Yuki has it.
Yuki has it.
Mhm.
And Zill just looks at Yuki.
I mean, it's up to, I mean, we made a promise, but at the same time, does Edmund know you're here?
No.
Well, we never promised to tell him where he was. Maybe we give it a couple days while we're out on the sea.
Or we can just give it to you.
That's true. And Yuki offers it to him.
Offers what?
The thing
En-
where you can
Enchanted paper.
the enchanted paper where you can say whether small things to send to someone. Yeah. So whenever you feel ready, feel free to use it.
He looks at, kind of gleaning exactly what this is, and he looks back and he says, "So be it." And with that, I shall make plans for my departure tonight.
We'll prepare our ship.
I will see you at 1 a.m. Most of the town is closed down by that point. But there is still some harbor workers going to and from, I think, carrying this, and he looks to the cannon. That's our best opportunity to be as inconspicuous as possible. If you have crew that would be able to help with it, there's a large chunk of machinery. I would be
Well,
happy,
we've got quite a good crew. Don't
happy
worry.
to have the help. And with that, he nods, and that is where we're going to end our session for today.
Such good. Oh my gosh.
I was not expecting
What a good
that.
session.
When you guys
Holy
brought
smokes.
up like the Glyphex stuff, I was just like,
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even remember what I brought Glyphix up for, honestly.
but
Who knows?
Yeah.
with that being the case, we're going to quickly go through thoughts on tonight's session, and we're going to try to close down within the next 10 to 15 minutes. With
Okay.
that being the case, let's go ahead and start with you, Max.
I was joking with Dane during our break. Like, I don't know why Zill is such a wheeler and dealer, but he is. Always fun to get equipment upgrades. That's one of my favorite parts of these kind of games, is just getting cooler stuff. So I always love when that happens. Yeah, and it's always weird. Sometimes Zill says nothing. Sometimes he kind of just takes the lead. And I'm never really sure which one he's going to do. So it was shocking to see him take the lead, but he feels like he has a lot to say about the supernatural, because, like I said, it's like it was meaningless to him until it was thrust in his face in Helix. It's like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
And obviously, like, Aldrich wanting to protect his family, like, strikes a chord with Zill. He's like, yeah, I get it. He likes the idea of new fun weapons. That's kind of cool.
Glyphex
Um,
cannons.
So yeah, it's just kind of all coming together. It's like all these little things of like, I don't know, this actually might be one Zill would. Yeah, because he kind of takes the back seat, lets Yuki run the show, or takes the show over. There's like no in between with Zill.
No, I mean, it's good give and take. And I think
Yeah.
especially on sessions where it is just the two of us, I think it actually works better. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like just kind of bouncing off between the two of us. Like
Yeah.
Yuki's good at the introductions, but I think Zill also has the opportunity to be more of a deep thinker than I think he gives himself credit for.
Well, and
So
also too,
And-
like, you have to understand that like Zill is also amongst his own like
Max.
people, if that makes sense. Like, they're not Helix people per se, but
Mhm.
like humans. Like humans have kind of like this, like one of the things that sets them apart from like, let's say, like elves is because they're short-lived. They have like the ability to like be innovators. They have they're more like go-getters when it comes to doing things because
Yeah.
they only have so much time left. And so very much I feel like Zill encases and encompasses that like spirit of what it means to be human. And so like I think he's pretty good at like addressing like person to person, like, all right, let's do this.
And I think it also really helped that we met Aldrich in his workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we didn't meet him in a court with all the lordly fanfare.
Mhm.
We met him in a workshop. That's Zill's world. So he's like, if we met him anywhere else, Zill probably wouldn't want to talk to him. He's just like, I don't really know how to be, but it's like, I know a guy who creates things.
Mhm.
I can talk to that guy. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it was good. And Zilla's totally unafraid and unworried and finds it very fun to be like, we've killed demons. He has no tact in who to tell
It's
that
pretty
to.
cool, that's for sure. And most people look at you like you're crazy. You're like, what?
Yeah, now you understand why Thaddeus was a jerk to you guys.
Oh my gosh. That's good.
Social cues.
Yep.
Anything else about tonight's session?
It was a grand old time. I think I put that in one of the comments too.
Yeah.
Dane, your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was really good. I think we were really efficient in what we did. There were some role play for I think the more important transactions, especially because Zill was saying goodbye to his good old buddy that he met at the blacksmith. So I think that was good. Yuki's back in the positive with money. She's at 1,700.
Woo!
Yeah, so that's good. So she was chilling at like 4 something, but between Zill and trading in some armor that has just been chilling in her inventory, then that was good. So she made some money back. It was really cool knowing. So what can you tell us like what the different the D6 I'm assuming was for the different element types that it could have been, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. So what would have what would have been like a 6 if I had rolled a 6?
So 1 is flame, 2 is frost, 3 is earth, 4 is electric, 5 is light, and 6 is dark.
That's cool. Well, I'm glad it's light. Again, divine providence. I think we're looking at, especially since it's for Lixalia. She can actually use some light boops instead of having to use all of her skills, you know, which I think she'll like. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Cole reacts to that. I'm very curious about Belbin and what's going on with him, especially with the church being closed. that's curious. And
now we have a very strict departure time.
yeah, very strict departure time. And I mean, it's fine. Luxalia said he should be back on the ship by the evening. But no, I mean, I was thrown for a loop for that. I didn't even think at all that he was going to be in Marla's care at all. That was so surprising to me. I thought we were just going to get some word of being like, okay, yeah, he is my cousin, and we know the last place he was seen was, I thought it was going to be like Sky Spire Island. He's been captured by Jackman Knobs. So I thought that was the case, but yeah, now we've got a lot to think
like
about.
our family's bunker on this
undisclosed
island or
exactly. So I think we got some good information. That was definitely a twist. And yeah, really, really fun session. I had a good time.
I had a good time too. It's one of those like kind of like wrap-up sessions where it's just like I love the ones where it's like you have, especially like at the very end, like that key moment of like, now we have like a very purposeful goal in mind going forward.
Feels like we're getting towards the end of this adventure. That's for sure.
Yeah,
we still have 2 generals to kill.
Wow. You know,
it's gonna be a good time. But with that, I think we can go ahead and go into all of our shenanigans. Dane, if you want to carry it
I'm going to be really quick. So we got a couple ways to be able to support us. So if you like the game of Everlast and you thought this was a really cool session, you're very curious to learn more about the world, we will be coming to this game will be coming to Kickstarter in the future on the Tabletop RPG. There's some ways to be able to support it before the game comes out. For example, with the art, because again, art takes time. and we want to get as much of it done ahead of time before we actually start doing the Kickstarter for the Tabletop RPG, because again, art takes time, and if we're doing art by the time the Tabletop RPG Kickstarter is up, then it could be a while for that. So to be able to support us, to be able to do the art, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can do Coffee of the Realm or Fragrances of the Realm. So Coffee of the Realm is our partnership with Roastify Coffee, and so we have 8 different blends of delicious coffee ranging from light roast to dark roast to medium roast to decaf, and all of them are based off of a place in Everlast. Actually, if you look behind Max, the Helix blend, that is where Mazil is from, Helix. So all the box artwork has
He's
Helix.
probably from like
Yeah, right, he's in the slums. But he so the Helix blend is actually probably my favorite blend. It's really good. But then like behind me, the decaf blend where Yuki's from Flamongolith, you get exclusive artwork from the actual game of Everlast, which I think is really, really cool. Candles as well. So all the candles are based off of a place in Everlast. And yeah, it's really good coffee, and they're really good smelling candles. So I recommend them, and it's a good way to be able to support Everlast. All proceeds go towards the art of Everlast. If you want to support Fantasy Forge Studios in general, we have an amazing sponsor. So we have our sponsor, Dai Snacky. They're a Japanese sweets and luxury treats company based in Tokyo, Japan. They're a small family business. They offer free international shipping, which is really cool because international shipping is crazy. And if you do mention that Forge sent you and you give your Twitch name, then they give that to us, and then we're able to like have a certain check off. If we get enough referrals, then we can give away a box. We've given away 2 boxes on the channel. We actually just recently gave away a box to a follower. So not only do you get delicious Japanese sweets and treats, but you have the potential to win one for free if you guys continue to use Forged at checkout as the code. So consider doing that. And again, it's a really good way to experience traditional Japanese snacks without traveling to Japan. So that's cool. And then the big honcho we got before the Everlast tabletop RPG comes out in March. We're actually going to be releasing the first 2 sets of the Everlast trading card game, which is really cool. Kyle, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
So the Everlast trading card game, we've been collecting art, as Dane had mentioned, for everything involving in the tabletop RPG, and that art is being used for the Everlast TCG. So it is a game that actually has a lot of the same mechanics of the battle system of the Everlast role-playing game. And yeah, it's really cool. That's coming out to Kickstarter very, very soon here in March, which is crazy. I have a couple of cards here perhaps that I can show you. What do I want to show them today? We'll do this.
Some good stuff.
On my stream last time, I showed
The Inquisitor.
the EX battle decks that we have going on here. So I'm going to do the next 2 kind of themes of the EX battle decks. So first we're going to start with the good ones, which is Lawrence, Master of Shiloh. Lawrence, Master of Shiloh. He is the owner of Shiloh, or like the master of Shiloh, obviously, but it's a deck revolved around him and basically like his like manor guard servants and like the essentially defenders of that town. And the next one is one that, for those who've been watching since the beginning, I guess, of this streamed content, it's a Shada Shalazar deck. And so yeah, sorry, these sleeves are what are making it kind of super sparkly, but
I kind of like it too because the Shada, technically it's an evil deck because it's surrounded around evil creatures, but she's a neutral creature.
she is a neutral
Whereas the
creature.
Lawrence deck is a good deck, but he's a neutral creature
He's
too,
also
which is
neutral as well. So you can put him in either the good or the evil sets, depending on like what you want to do with it. But they're yeah. So this is like Shada and Rogue, and this one is Lawrence in Shiloh, and so very cool. We got lots going on with that. So it's got a lot to look forward to. We have actually an ad, so we can go ahead and play that right now. And so it's split into 2 sets: the Raising of Helix, which are all the evil cards, and then the Heroes of the West, which are all the good cards. So yeah, lots to look forward to. Man, it's coming so quick. It's coming so quick, but it's been a pleasure to be able to create this card game, and it's also something that if you don't want, like an RPG, like tabletop RPG is not your thing, like long drawn out campaigns and that kind of stuff. This is something that's like so easy where it's just like you can sit down like it for like an hour and like play, and then like you're good. Like, so you can still.
It's not even that too. It's a trading card game as well, and I think one of the cool things about it is you get to know the characters of the northern Great Peninsula, which I think is really cool. So you get to know like Irea, the princess of Helix, Alexander, her father. You get to know Eska and Shiloh. You even get to know some of the evil creatures like Anti-Addy Bloodfinger and other things, lots of other creatures. So you can like kind of get to know the characters before the game actually comes out. So when you actually play
Lizard
tabletop
King.
RPG, the Lizard
Oh
King.
gosh.
Oh my gosh, the Lizard King. But yeah, when you actually play the tabletop RPG itself, you'll be familiar with a lot of the characters. You'll be like, yeah, this guy's a G. This guy's a real cool, or this guy's bad news kind of thing. I think it's cool. So hopefully
I
it gets
think
you
that's-
hyped.
I think that's it for today in the stream. Just remember to check out our Discord. Coalforge Great Axe, the M is Silent, is coming back this Sunday.
Yes.
7 p.m.
We're fully back. This is going to be our 3rd stream back now.
Heck
Or
yeah.
2nd stream back. And so we had kind of a preview in November. Our feast stream back was 2 weeks ago. And for those, we just did Pokemon Unite to just get back into it, do something fun. But this one we are starting It Takes Two. So we're actually going to progress through a whole game. Probably quite terribly, because that's what we're good at, not being good at video games. And we're really looking forward to it. I just bought the game and downloaded it on my Switch today, so we're really excited. Normally we do it at 7 Mountain, 9 Eastern, but Cole has some scheduling things. So we need to solidify the schedule hopefully tomorrow. And
Yeah,
we can
Max
get it
will
out
let
to
me
you.
know and I'll post in the Discord, so
Yeah.
that'll be available then. When are you guys kind of generally thinking if you got to?
It'll still be the evening.
Okay.
But
We'll see.
yeah,
Okay.
Sunday evening ish.
It won't be the morning. That's what we got out of that. Nice.
Yes.
Cool. All right.
Dane will also be continuing his second,
Yes.
basically, episode of his Bible study that he is leading, and prayer study as well. If you hadn't seen the last one, it's still up on Twitch for another couple of weeks. Make sure to check it out. It's amazing. He'll be talking about the 7 Sorrows of Mary and also the Sorrowful Mysteries.
Yep. Sorrowful Mysteries, Our Lady of Sorrows, including the devotion, as well as the Bible passages for the 7 Sorrows of Mary. And yeah, always, I think we got to, so from the end of January through February, there's going to be a big focus on Mary. So the first kind of unit is going to be on the Holy Family. So we're focusing on Mary. In March, we're going to be focusing on Saint Joseph, as well as the fatherhood, motherhood, that kind of stuff, and then the Holy Spirit as well. We're going to be really diving into. We got a couple really cool units coming up. I know, like most of them are split into like 3 sections. Like I know late spring we're going to be diving into the Old Testament, so talking about a lot of Old Testament figures. In midsummer, we're going to be talking about the saints, and then we're even going to be talking about specific things like heaven, hell, and purgatory, and lots of really cool topics, also lots of really relevant topics as well. So it's not designed to be arduous for you guys. I will be posting resources in the actual Christ Forge Discord. That's what it's called, Christ Forge. We do have a YouTube channel for it. We do have the Joyful Mysteries up. The Sorrowful Mysteries will be up on there by tomorrow, hopefully. And what else? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of designed to introduce it, whether you're an expert in Christianity or whether you've never heard it at all. Hopefully you can learn something from it, and hopefully with that you can dive deeper into learning just more about Christ, which I think is really cool. So that's the purpose of it. So come join us. It's a really cool, chill, and loving place. You don't feel out of place there, because everyone's there to learn, and everyone's there to just learn more about one of the most important figure, or the most important figure, in my opinion, who has been here, who has been on Earth, which is Jesus, and all of the wonderful traditions of Christianity, the Catholic Church, and the Bible. So it's really cool. Come join us.
We will also be continuing Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Not Rebirth. I don't remember what the last part of it. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. And that will be on Wednesday. It might be a little bit iffy if I'm going to be streaming Friday. My time. I have some documentation immigration stuff that I have to get taken care of. But we'll see. I'll keep you updated. But for sure, on Wednesday, I will be at 9 a.m. JST doing some Final Fantasy Crisis Core. So that should be awesome. I'm trying to think of anything else, and I can't think of it right now. Check out our Discord. We have a up-to-date calendar, and we always post going live notifications there. So make sure to join us for that. Let's go ahead and pray. Let's close in prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. O Jesus, my Savior and Redeemer, Son of the living God, behold, we kneel before you and offer you our reparation. We would make amends for all the blasphemies uttered against your holy name, for all the injuries done to you in the Blessed Sacrament, for all the irreverence shown towards your Immaculate Virgin Mother, for all the slanders spoken against your spouse, the Holy Catholic Church. O Jesus, who has said, if you ask the Father anything in my name, he will give it to you. We pray and beseech you for all our brethren who are in danger of sin. Shield them from every temptation to fall away from the true faith. Save those who are even now standing on the brink of the abyss. To all of them, give light and knowledge of the truth, courage and strength for the conflict with evil, perseverance in faith and active charity. For this do we pray, most merciful Jesus, in your name, unto God the Father, with whom you live and reign in the unity of the Holy Spirit, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you all. Know that I'm praying for you. Pray for us, and pray for each other. I will see you all on, well, probably for a Coal Forge, Great Axe, and the Silent, and then many other streams to come this week. May Alomnia guide each and every one of you. Bye, everybody.